Hi, I'm Sarah Jane, and you're in Sumter with Sarah Jane. This is the monthly market update for January 2024. So, let's talk about last year's numbers, January so far, and what you can expect when thinking of selling a home for 2024. Okay, let's get right into it. I'm very excited. I am a numbers driven person, so when I get to go over the numbers for last year and what's happening now and thinking about the future of real estate in Sumter, I get very excited. Last year we sold 1,309 homes. That's down almost 17% from the previous year. In 2022 we sold 1,503 homes. So I wanted to say, okay, how are we doing right now in January that we've gotten this far, and what happened in the month previous? So in December of 2023, so just this past month, we sold 109 homes. And then this month in January so far, we've sold 60 homes. So just 15 days in, and we've already sold 60 homes. In real estate, you sell the majority of your homes at the end of the month. I can get into that later, but that is a stat. We sell more homes at the end of a month than at the beginning of the month. I'll be interested to see how the numbers shake out. And next month market update, I will have those numbers for you. So if we go back to December of 21 to think about, okay, what's going to happen in 2022, December of 21, there were 104 homes sold. So that mathed out to be an 18, if you take that number, multiply it by 12, and then look at what it ended up with, we had an 18% increase. Because you're not going to sell the same number of homes every single month. The summer months do have more home sales than the end cap months of, early spring, late winter. So to adjust for that, I took last year's numbers and figured out that percentage up. It was a 17% increase. So I took the 109 from December, which 109 by itself for times 12 maths out to about 1,308, which is the same number that we sold in 2023. So we're on track to sell more homes than 2023. So in 2024, I predict that we're going to sell over 1,500 homes, and that's just from looking at this and also understanding what's going on in the market nationally. In years past, Sumter has been a month to 2 months behind national trends as far as how long does it take to sell a house, your days on market, and price increase. Like, okay, nationally we see a 2% increase month over month. Well, Sumter would say, okay, well, you're experiencing that in March. We're not going to experience that until June. That has not been the case over the past 3 years. We have stayed on trend with national averages. Something that could be attributed to people leaving big cities and coming to smaller towns. Sumter has been fortunate to be one of those places. I've helped so many people over the past year, really 3 years, find a home in Sumter that have come from California, Texas, Virginia, New York City, just wanting to have a slower pace and honestly to have that affordability of being able to get that fourth bedroom or even just that third bedroom. Because if you're coming from a place like California or New York, you're like, okay, I hope I have a bedroom and a nice living room. Where in Sumter, that same money can get you possibly 5 bedrooms, depending on what you're looking at. My California couple, they had a 2-bedroom apartment in California, and now they have a beautiful 5-bedroom house, over 3,000 square feet, here in Sumter, in Hunter's Crossing. Hunter's Crossing? No, that's not the one. It's across from Timberline, and I always forget the name. Do you know it? That's okay. I'll think of the name. The point is that you can buy more house here than other places, and Sumter has benefited from that recently. And it's a cute little town. We've got a lot of cute events that come and go, and it's very affordable to live here, especially in comparison to those bigger cities. Okay, so last year we sold 1,300 homes. The average sales price was $239,079. The days on market was an average of 51. When you take out new construction, the days on market was 31, which is on trend with national averages. So 75% of the homes we sold last year were resale homes, meaning we sold 331 new construction homes last year. In the year previous, we only sold 253 homes. I also want to take a second to talk about who's buying these homes and how we can track that with mortgages. So we talk about VA loans. That's a big question when I have people refer to me or when I have new clients interview me. Hey, how many VA loans do you work with? So let's look at Sumter overall and see what those numbers look like. Last year, 21% of home sales were cash, 40% were VA, and 40% were other, which could have been USDA, conventional, some sort of ARM, something like that, or a 1031. Those are all different types of ways to finance a house. You don't have to worry about those. Just know it's, for our purposes today, cash, VA, or other. Also includes FHA. So not half, but half of what wasn't cash was a VA loan, which tells us military is moving. So I wanted to look at those numbers compared with January so far, and 50% of the home sales in January so far have been VA loans. So I know there's a myth out there, it's like, oh, military moves only during the summer. That is not true. They move all year round. And then cash was 20%. We saw cash go down a little bit. I think that's because of the time of year that it is. I think we'll see cash offers go back up the closer we get to the summer, and then 30% other. We're gonna see 30% other is very interesting here because you've got in other FHA and conventional. FHA is essentially anyone who's not VA is probably going to use FHA because it's the most affordable loan that you can get if you're not doing 20% down. So it's interesting that it's 30% here and that VA is 50%. To me, I'm very intrigued to see how that number changes as we continue into spring. But don't worry, I'll be back to keep you updated on those numbers. The next huge interesting thing from the numbers that we're looking at, the average price for a home for all of 2023 was $239,079. The average price of the home sold in January, just for these 16 days, has been $272,706. That's a big jump. So we've got this price increase, this price appreciation. So you may see homes and days on market. So days on market, 24 days on market for resale, 40 days on market this far into the year. That 40 days on market also tells me that there's not a huge number of new construction here, because new construction has longer days on market because they put their house on the market typically when they break ground or when they know exactly what they're going to do with that house. They've already selected the counters and the floor and all of that. So it brings their days on market count up. But here for January numbers, 6 days in, we've got 40 days on market in this big price increase of $272,706. Plus our sale to list price has gone up. So in all of 23, it was 97.8. Now, sale to list price ratio is what the house is listed for versus what it sells for. So if you've got 97.8% for your ratio, then you've got, if you sell a home for $100,000, you put it on the market, you're probably going to get $97,820 for that house. That went up. So not only did the price go up for the house average, what you're gonna get for the listing price went up. So when people say, hey, I'm not sure I wanna sell in the winter, I'm gonna wait till it warms up, blah, blah, blah. These numbers are saying, no, it's a really good time to sell, that you're gonna list your house for more and you're gonna sell it for more, which is great news for us. This, as sellers, it's great news for us. This 98.1 of getting more for the house for the list price, that also tells us that sellers are offering less. So wherein last year, 97.8, people were starting to offer, okay, I'll take less for my house, but what comes with that is I'll offer closing costs. So you've got sellers helping with closing costs. So with this 98.1, it's only 1%, but when you're that high up in those numbers, the 1% matters a little more. So you've got a little bit of closing cost assistance going down here. And then days on market being 40. The only thing I can think about days on market being 40 up from 24 is that for December, you had 2 weeks of almost 3 weeks worth of vacation time, which is not a problem if you're looking for a house and writing an offer on a house and having an inspection on a house, but it does create a problem when you need the bank to be working on this. So having almost 3 weeks worth of vacation days in the middle of that, I think January numbers for days on market are always going to be up because of that. Okay, and people are busy, so there's always that. Okay, recap for what we learned for January and last year. Last year, we were down from 2022 on home sales. We're predicted to go up for home sales, so we had 1,300 sales in 23, we had 1,500 sales in 22. I'm predicting that we're gonna have closer to 1,500, if not more, in 2024. Home prices are going to continue to appreciate. That's not a Sarah Jane prediction, although I agree with it. That is an everyone prediction, that home prices are going to continue to appreciate. The next most controversial prediction is what's going to happen with interest rates. Nobody knows for sure what's going to happen with interest rates, but because it's an election year, you're going to have people wanting everybody to be as happy as possible, and the best way to make people happy is to make their life more affordable, and making life more affordable is meaning their housing is more affordable, because that's the most of what we spend our money on. So those interest rates, I personally think, are going to drop. I don't think we're ever going to get back to 2 or 3%, but I think we're going to see it in the 5, maybe the high 5s, but maybe mid 5s. So right now, as of today, a 30-year fix for FHA is 6.4, and for a VA it's 6.3. And interesting enough, January 23 also 6.3 interest rate. So I'm excited to see how that shakes up. Now, what you can expect to sell your home as we move through these early spring months, late winter months, however you want to call it. If you put your house on the market right now, you might see an increase in days on market, but you're going to see an increase in your list to sell ratio. So I'm selling my house for $100,000. In December, I maybe would have gotten 97, but now that we're here, I would get 98. When you expand that across $200,000 and $300,000, that's a little bit more money in your pocket than normal. And because listings are down right now, you're gonna have less competition, which means with taking more for your house and having less competition, you're probably not gonna have to offer something like closing cost. Maybe you don't even have to offer a warranty. We can get into that on another day. These are the things that you're looking for moving into the spring. And moving out of the spring, we'll readjust. We'll visit this again in our February monthly market update. I'm excited, and I would like to offer to you here a professional equity assessment report. So if you're thinking about moving in the next year and you're thinking, you know what, it might just be a good idea to know what I have. Let me help you figure out how much equity you have in your house. Even if you don't move, that could give you some options to do other things. Do you want to use the equity that you have in your house to build on? Do you want to use the equity in your house to buy a vacation home, buy a boat, whatever it is that's going to make your life more enjoyable? Some of the equity that you have in your home could be helpful. Or you might just want to move and get a bigger house. Either way, I'm here to offer you a pair anytime you'd like one. And I hope that you have a great rest of January. I'll be back in February for another monthly market update. And if you're not signed up for my newsletter, please sign up for the newsletter. It comes out monthly as well. We touch on highlights from the monthly market update, and we make sure that you know about the big events coming up in Sumter so you can go ahead and buy those tickets before things run out. Love you guys. Bye.